Hi, so today I'll be showing you how to standardize some text. Do note though that this tutorial uses Python for the coding language, so some basic Python knowledge is necessary to understand this tutorial. Alright, so first, what is text standardization? Text standardization is a way in which you prep text for machine learning. So for example, if you want to use the text of, say, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen as the data for your machine learning program, then you probably want to get rid of capital letters and get rid of punctuation marks and so on to improve the efficacy of your algorithm. Text standardization includes all of that, and from lowercasing to removing punctuation. And depending on the situation and what exactly that you're trying to do, it can also include lemmatization and a variety of other things as well. So the algorithm that I'm going to show you today only includes removing certain characters, but I'm going to show you how to do that in a way where, number one, there's less code, and number two, if you want to add more data, that's very easy to do. And number three is neat and easy to read so that you know exactly what it's doing even after some time has passed since you actually coded it. Okay, so let's dive right in. So first, you make a class. As you can see, I named mine settings. And then I specified things such as file name, exclude target, marker options, special characters with blank, and encoding. So all of these are variables for the data file that you're going to standardize. So the first data that I used was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, which I named PP. And then I specified the file name as PP right here. One thing to note here is that this file name has to be the same as the name of your exact file. This is because what this file name variable does is that it records the name of your actual data file where you stored the text of whatever you're using as the data, so that it can be found when you call this class later. And then you just record stuff in the different variables as you need. So just include whatever variables that you need to specify to do the actions that you want to do. Wow. But up until this point, this doesn't really do anything. Like there's a variable that says exclude target, but the machine doesn't know what exactly it has to do with that variable. So you come here and you define a function, and I named mine parse. And then here you specify the variables that you specified over here, file name, exclude target, etc. And then you specify the actions that you want to do. So for example, with the variable exclude target, you're saying merge those lines, and but you take into consideration all of this included in exclude target. And then you do that, and then you encode this function, and then you use this function down here. So from here to here is important. It's the key of all this. So authors is just a list that I used to name that I used because I named the folders where I store my data files according to author. So the folder where I stored the Pride and Prejudice data file is called Austen, and etc. So the first thing that you need to do is you define a new variable, settings, and you'll notice that it's the same as the class here, and you tie this into, and you connect this to the settings class that you made in the other Python file. You say get attribute settings, comma file name dot split. A file name comes from here. .txt. .txt is a suffix for text files, and then 0. So for example, if you got pp.txt, then you're taking pp, and then none. And then here you say if setting is not none, so if there is a section for that file name, for example pp, in this file on the left, and os.path.exists file path, so if that data file actually exists in the directory where you said it exists, then do this parse, and you'll notice that that's the function that you defined up here, and you parse this including all of the variables here. Okay, so in this tutorial I just tried to show you a easy way to standardize a lot of data files in the same way. And one thing that I like the most about this method is that if you add another data file, then you just need to copy and paste this, change this part. Then you change this part just so that it doesn't overlap, and you change the file name. And a lot of these actually won't change because the it's not like the data files are in different languages. You just change some of these, and then you can just use that data file directly in your algorithm. Okay, so if you're doing text standardization, then I hope that this tutorial helps you. If you're just learning Python, then I hope it helps you too. Okay, have a nice day.